there's two chapters. One, you talk about you talk about kind of transgenderism and how that's even tying into that pedophilia. Maybe we can do that one second. And then the other one was, what was the one that we mentioned earlier? It was
marriage in the family.
Marriage in the family, and kind of this polygamy, and this, what was the other word?
Polyamory.
Yeah. And the dangers there, but we've already set ourselves up for this complete abolition.
Yeah, like I said, we're through the looking glass now, right? And so something as basic as the institution of marriage, right? Talking about like radical moral subjectivity, basically saying, marriage isn't like an institution that is given by God, right? That between one man and one woman, marriage is something that's open for definition, and redefinition kind of infinitely. And the same like philosophical justifications for gay marriage and for that were deployed during the gay marriage debate, essentially that love is love, and each person is going to define that differently. By the way, these are the same philosophical claims that we saw in Casey versus Planned Parenthood in the abortion decision in 1992, where it was Justice Kennedy, his infamous line that that the meaning of liberty is like defining your own reality. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but basically just sort of like a relativistic creed that defined the mystery of human existence, right?
He even said that, right? Like that freedom means defining your own existence.
Yes,
right? Yeah,
right, and
or
so
reality even did it.
Right, and so once you're there, then you are in a situation where then it's going to be the people with power that decide what is real for them, and so it's easy to see how this developed in the abortion debate, right? Abortion, when Roe v. Wade passed, the justification, and you see the changing justifications for abortion. And this also demonstrates what we were talking about earlier about the disfigurement of reason and even scientific knowledge. Roe v. Wade passes, the justification is, this is not a human being. This is just a clump of cells. Getting abortion is no different than getting an appendectomy. We don't have to have this big debate about it. Advances in medical technology quickly rendered that justification meaningless, totally untenable. It was clear within a decade of Roe v. Wade being decided that this is a unique human individual. It's not a clump of cells. It is the taking of a life. And so the justification had to switch. And you heard proponents of abortion talk less about clump of cells and more a shift in rhetoric talking about safe, legal, and rare, right? You heard the Clintons talk about this in the 90s, that abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. And there was kind of a tacit acknowledgement that this is like an unfortunate thing. We should have compassion for women who are in this situation, and it should be rare. We don't want more abortion, right? And we're not going to get into why, but suffice to say, it should be safe, legal, and rare. And now that's given way completely over the last decade to a new justification for abortion, which is that this is the Shout Your Abortion movement. This is where abortion is justified on the basis that it's a positive good. In fact, that it's necessary to vindicate the constitutional rights of women. And so far from being ashamed of abortion, so far from thinking that it should be safe, legal, and rare, we should celebrate abortion as a great liberating force for all women in America, without which their constitutional rights cannot be vindicated, right? And so that is a totally different moral framework and a very quick transformation of the justifications for abortion that has created a situation now where the only thing that establishes the humanity of an unborn child in America is whether or not the mother wants the child. So you can have two children of the same gestational age in one state, the premature birth of that child, all the medical technology and expertise has to be brought to bear to save the child's life by law. A child of the same age born in another state can be killed with impunity. And the only difference is, does the mother want that child? So it's not even a question of whether or not this is a person. This is a question about power dynamics. And the person with the power in this case is the mother. deploying power on her own behalf, either to save the life of this child or to take it. Now,
So to use Kennedy's language, she has the freedom to create whether or not to speak and say whether or not that's a child.
essentially, yes, right.
Yeah.
And so, but of course, even when you say that, it's nonsense to suppose that she is creating that her desire for this child makes it a child or doesn't make it a child.
Mhm.
And yet we still talk that way, but it's absolutely like an assault on reason,
Mhm.
because we know it is a child. And so what are we really talking about? What we're saying is we are advancing a pagan moral claim, which is that the person with the power in this situation has the right, by virtue of that power, to say whether or not this killing is licit or illicit.
Mm-hmm.
And the power rests with them because they are in that position, right? Might makes right.
Mm-hmm.
And that is pagan morality. And that is the morality of abortion that we have today in America.